They say some stories live quietly inside people for decades, waiting for the right moment to be told. This is one such story. A story not of kings or heroes, but of a quiet old man and the silence he carried for 70 years. His name was Yusuf Ahmed. To the world, he was just a gentle grandfather who lived in a modest, creaky house at the end of the lane. People would see him every morning at his window, wrapped in a woolen shawl no matter the season, sipping tea with trembling hands, staring quietly at the street below. He rarely spoke, never interfered. Children played outside his house, birds fluttered near the sill, but Yusuf remained still, like a faded photograph in a moving world. But what no one saw, what no one knew, was the weight in his chest, a silence not of peace but of pain. A silence born in fire, forged in grief, and kept sealed for 70 long years. He lived with his grandson, Aman, a bright young man in his 20s. Aman loved his dada dearly, but even he had never been told about Yusuf's childhood. No one had. Yusuf spoke little, smiled less, and carried a look in his eyes that only time can give, distant, sad, and endlessly searching. One day, it rained. The kind of rain that soaks the earth and softens the soul. The power went out. The house smelled of wet wood and old memories. Aman made 2 cups of tea and sat beside Yusuf by the window. After a long pause, he asked softly, "Dada, what was your childhood like?" For a while, Yusuf said nothing. The only sound was the rain tapping against the glass. But then, his eyes, those old faded eyes, began to shine with unshed tears, and in a voice that cracked like dry paper, he said, "It was the last time I was truly alive." And so, for the first time, Yusuf began to speak, and what he revealed was not just a story, but a buried life. The Lost Village and a Sister's Smile. Yusuf was born in a small village near the border, back when India was still undivided. It was a place of dust and light, laughter and simplicity. Mud walls, green fields, barefoot children. Days spent climbing mango trees, nights under the stars. But Yusuf's world wasn't made of things. It was made of a person. His younger sister, Sophia. She was just 8 years old when he last saw her. Small, bright-eyed, with thick braids and a habit of laughing at everything. Sophia was the light of his world, always clinging to his arm, calling him Bhaiya, Bhaiya, with a voice like wind chimes. They shared everything, stories, secrets, sweets, and scoldings. He protected her. She adored him. She would wait by the door every evening for him to come home from school, run to him barefoot, and tell him all about her day like it was the most important news on earth. He remembered once how she had tied a thread around his wrist and said, "Now you can never leave me." And he had laughed and said, "Never." But fate had other plans. The night the world fell apart. 1947. Yusuf was 15 in the year 1947, the year of partition. One evening, the sky turned red, not with sunset, but with smoke. Rumors turned into riots. Neighbors became strangers. Fear bled into the air. Then one night, the shouting came closer. Flames lit up the horizon. Men ran through the streets with weapons and hatred. His parents woke him up, shaking with fear. His father shoved a cloth bundle in his hand and shouted, "Take Sophia! Run through the back alley! Don't look back!" Yusuf grabbed Sophia's hand and ran. He ran through screams, through fire, through the dark. People were pushing, crying, trampling. Mothers were losing children. Men were dying in front of his eyes. And then, it happened. Someone shoved him hard from behind. He stumbled, and Sophia's hand slipped. He turned around instantly, but she was gone. Gone in the crowd. Gone in the chaos. Gone. "Sophia!" he screamed, over and over. But the only reply was noise, smoke, death. He searched for hours, then days. He checked the bodies, the camps, the temples, the wells. But she had vanished. And something inside him died. The long road of regret. Yusuf fled, alone. He crossed the border in a train filled with the wounded and the widowed. He settled in a town he didn't know. Started working in a textile mill. He never spoke of that night, never mentioned his sister again. Time passed. He married, a woman quiet like him. They had one child, but he remained distant, always watching, never present. He provided, yes, but never truly connected. His wife passed away. His son married and moved abroad. Only Aman stayed and with time became his closest companion. But even Aman never knew of Sophia. Yusuf had buried her deeper than memory. I killed her, he whispered to the rain that day. I let go. I didn't go back. Aman held his hand. No words. Just presence. The park, the girl, and the name that broke him. A few weeks later, something strange happened. Yusuf was walking in the park, slowly as usual, when he saw a little girl, around 7 or 8, crying near a bench. No parents in sight. He walked over slowly, knelt beside her, and asked gently, "What's your name, Beta?" She looked up with wet cheeks and said, "Sophia." Yusuf froze. The world tilted. For a second, time peeled back. He saw braids. He heard laughter. He saw the child he lost, now sitting before him. Of course, it wasn't her. It couldn't be. But something inside him cracked open. He helped the girl find her mother, then went home, sat silently for hours. That night, he wrote a letter. The letter that took 70 years to write. My dearest Sophia, I never found you. I never forgave myself. I should have gone back. I should have died trying. But I lived, and every day I heard your voice in silence. I carried your memory like a wound. I'm tired now, but if souls can meet beyond this world, I'll come find you. Your Bahia, Yusuf. He folded the letter, placed it in an old wooden box, along with the only photograph he had left of her, taken under a mango tree the week before Partition. A week later, Yusuf passed away in his sleep, peacefully, quietly, the mango tree in the wind's whisper. Aman found the box. He read the letter with trembling hands. He wept. Then he packed a bag and traveled to the old village, now a small town with new buildings and new names. But in the middle of the town, still standing like a witness to time, was the mango tree. Aman knelt beneath it, dug a small hole, and buried the letter and photo there. As he covered the earth, he whispered, "Your brother never stopped looking." The wind rustled through the leaves. And for a moment, he thought he heard a child's voice giggling softly, fading into the breeze. And in that moment, the silence of 70 years was finally broken.